Hello there. Rupert Lowe has thrown the gauntlet down in front of Keir Starmer, Kemi Badenoch, Nigel Farage and Reform UK by starting a crowdfunder to pay for a full national inquiry into the hideous Groomer scandal. In an announcement on X, the now independent MP Rupert Lowe launched his crowdfunder for a national inquiry into the Groomer scandal that affected and still affects so many of our youngsters. And the repercussions of this inquiry will echo across the UK and probably Europe and shake the establishment to its core. This is true political leadership. No running and hiding from the truth, hoping it will go away. It's Rupert Lowe smashing the gangs, not Keir Starmer. Lowe knows exactly what's at stake and is acting with speed so as to head off any future pain for our youngsters. This is the time for the British public to step forward and donate. What can be more important than protecting our youngsters? It's just a pity that no Prime Minister had the guts to do this, and also that Reform UK didn't do this as promised earlier in the year. And this news comes out on the day of Reform UK's biggest ever event in Birmingham today. Nigel Farage and Mohammed Zia Yusuf will not be impressed. In his post on X, Lowe said the inquiry will focus on three questions. What happened, how did it happen, and why was it allowed to happen? A crowdfunder has been set up. Please see the link below. I will, of course, personally donate, Lowe wrote. And I gather both he and Ben Habib have donated £5,000 apiece publicly. And I will just say that I have also donated and hope many more will follow suit. The crowdfunder target is £100,000 in the next 41 days. And it had hit £90,000 before 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's a link to the crowdfunder in the descriptions box below. Now this will definitely be giving many people in authority and those who engaged in these activities a sleepless night. And rightfully so. They saw successive governments refusing to act, and the promises made and forgotten on this very subject by Reform UK and Nigel Farage, so probably thought they were now safe. But Lowe is setting up a system where a qualified panel will be appointed to oversee the inquiry, with a legal advisory team to support the panel throughout the inquiry. And on the Nigel Farage Reform UK angle, Rupert Lowe put on his X post, I would like to apologise. Promises were made by my former party about holding an inquiry, and those promises were not kept. I tried to push behind the scenes, but evidently I did not go far enough, and for that I am sorry. I do not believe that making such bold claims, which gave so many so much hope, and then failing to deliver, is an honest way of conducting politics, particularly on an issue of this magnitude. And with a stinging rebuke, he also said, positive press about a potential inquiry was accepted and used for political gain by Reform and Farage, but no real action was taken. That does not sit right with me at all. When I make a promise, I keep it. I stated on March the 12th I would do this, and I am doing it. Ouch. Lowe is definitely setting down a marker here. He's just done what Reform UK only talked about as he launches this investigation into the Groomer scandal. As already pointed out, Nigel Farage talked about it, but Rupert acted on it. Now, I wonder if there's anything brewing for the next parliamentary by-election in Runcorn and Helsby. If so, it would definitely rock the current Reform UK boat. Now, the only drawback here is because a citizen, albeit an MP, has commenced this process, it does not have official government backing. So, as Lowe properly points out, this inquiry will not be able to fully deliver justice, but it can shine a light on the horror and open people's eyes to the vast scale of the vile abuse and exploitation. And he ends the post by saying, "We shouldn't have to do this. It should be the government. But as we know, that is not happening. So that responsibility now lies with us. Any support you can give is appreciated. There will be more updates very soon." At last, it looks like Britain has a sitting MP in Rupert Lowe who is actually doing something for this country and its people. As other MPs idle around bickering for the mythical middle ground votes and hoping to cultivate the votes of certain demographics. Rupert Lowe has set clear blue water between himself and like-minded right-of-centre politicians and the Nigel Farage and Reform UK offering. Now, the inquiry will consist of 3 stages: evidence collection, public hearings and report publication. And Lowe said there will be a secure submission process for evidence and the hearings will be live streamed. In non-attendance, questions will still be put on the record and evidence examined. The findings will be compiled and a report will be published. You can guarantee a huge audience for those streams for a start. The publicity will be huge, and if, as we suspect, the evidence coming out is explosive, the UK government will be forced to instigate a full-on, speedy national inquiry themselves, or be thrown out for a government that will. But this is when the establishment gets going full force to try and destroy Rupert Lowe and probably also Ben Habib and anyone who joins them in this quest. And a lot of that will probably revolve around that so-called report published by Reform UK on why they sacked Rupert Lowe. But as far as I'm concerned, Rupert has already squashed that with his immediate riposte to Reform's ex-post. But what of all the die-hard Farage and Reform UK supporters who dislike Lowe for splitting the vote, etc.? Will they support this brave and groundbreaking move? Will they say, "OK, Rupert, you've done a great thing, here's a few quid"? Well, I hope they will. And I do hope millions of people across the UK put a couple of quid in each. This inquiry will need all the cash and all the professional help it can get. And it will need all the public support that it can get. Not just the dosh, but also the moral support. Letters to MPs and newspapers, supporting posts on social media. Let's get behind this and go large on it. This definitely is not the time to be shy and retiring. Our children and grandchildren are relying on us to act today. Well done to Rupert Lowe and all who support this fantastic project. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. And thank you for watching.